All right, check it out. Listen, I'm going to talk to you about this new boot we're manufacturing in Franklin County, Maine. It's been 7 years we've been making footwear. I shouldn't say making footwear, but it's been 7 years since we started trying to make footwear. And there's this video. There's a lot of videos on our YouTube channel. We used to capture everything. I think this is Ty Nichols sitting next to me here. But this was the first phase in trying to bring footwear manufacturing back to Franklin County, Maine. Our first pair of boots cost $500,000. The first pair of boots that we made, $500,000. And so call it a sickness, call it a crime of passion. I'm not sure what I call it, but this is one of the videos. I haven't watched it in 7 years. This is one of the videos that has to do with boot manufacturing. And if I don't see what I want in this one, we'll go look at another video. But this is a reaction. I cringe when I watch myself. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But let's go ahead and play this thing. And we're going to talk about lessons learned. And then I want to talk about, after the fact, this new Coronado boot, which is launching today, and this new Lincoln boot, which is launching today. All right, let's get into this thing here. I mean, literally going to the tannery, right? Being on the computer, designing a boot, going to the tannery, looking at the leather, feeling the leather, hiring a craftsman. Now we're going and trying to negotiate used machinery. Then we're going to bring it into the factory. Then we're going to put it into production. Like, that's how we built America. Legit. You know, there's nothing like trying to negotiate with a guy who's been in business since 1964.
Yeah, it's more than a couple decades.
So this is the gentleman who found our first loom for us. Same guy. Who sold us our first 2 sewing machines. Same guy. And I'll tell you, he's so good at what he does. Going to Lewiston to... All right, that dude, his name is Mo. And he is like a 3rd generation machinery supplier. So think about his dad, that guy with the gray hair. His dad basically used to outfit all the shoe dogs in Maine. Jim Davis from New Balance. Let's say Alphond, the Alphond family when they owned Dexter Shoe before they sold it to Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett said is the worst deal he ever made. And I'll tell you what, the Alphond family, they're multi-billionaires now, so they did pretty good for themselves. Bass, all the footwear companies that used to be in Maine and New England, this dude and his dad, and I think his dad's dad, used to outfit them. And he did get us our first loom too, so he's got a grip on used machinery in New England. Hamco. Shoe machinery, so you can't do anything without that leather if you don't have the machinery to work on it. So we're going to go negotiate a deal on some old machinery. I don't really want to spend $100,000 on machinery. We want to maybe cut that in half and get set up for success. Henry, who came on board, who is coming on board January 2nd, he's a boot maker and leather craftsman. So he's been working in the shoe industry from Bass Shoe to Allen Edmonds for, I don't know, 30 or 40 years. So he'll be on full-time staff with Origin starting January 2nd. So the guy we're going to meet with, Maurice, yeah. He's the one that found that first loom for me. Remember I told you? Yeah. I found this old timer and he said, get in my truck. And we drove up to Lewiston a few blocks away, walked into that mill, and there was that old loom. He's the one that found that for me. So I'd really like to buy this machinery through him. I got to turn on my negotiation skills because this guy I'm meeting with is 1,000 times better negotiator than I am. He's been doing it for 40 years. And if you watch when he greets me, he's very like, shake my hand, grab my shoulder, ask me about personal life. And, and he's smiling all the time and he sucks you in.
How you doing there, big guy?
Good.
Good. Yeah. Nice to see you again.
Hi. This is Ty.
Hi, Ty. How are you?
Good.
That's what I want to make.
I know.
That's what I want to make.
I
See, You're
You know
so
what I
good
just
at
said?
you're so good at sales. You
I'm
hand
not-
me what I'm gonna make.
No, I'm not that
Look at this guy.
good. 68 years old, Ty.
Yep.
And I've been doing this since I was 14.
So how did you know this is exactly what I want to make?
Well, you're the one that showed it to me yesterday.
Not
And
this
you-
boot.
Yes, it was.
Was it this boot?
Absolutely. And you said, "Oh, I like that boot."
Okay, I thought this was a different one.
This is a heavy boot, okay?
Yeah.
This is a very well constructed boot.
It can use
And-
workwear and lifestyle, right?
Yeah, this
For
is
both.
Yeah, sure.
Here comes the sales pitch. Now, I had never made footwear. Origin had never made footwear. You got to remember, we went from jiu-jitsu gi manufacturing into blue jean manufacturing. And a lot of people thought that was a big jump, going from jiu-jitsu gi manufacturing to making blue jeans and boots. And when asked, it's really simple. And this is what I say to folks when they ask, well, how did you get from here to there? Origin's mission is to breathe life back into the dream, is to rebuild manufacturing in America. America was built in denim blue jeans and boots. And those denim blue jeans were first made, and that denim was first woven in a Moskeg Mills in Manchester, New Hampshire, and that footwear was first made in New England, in Maine and Massachusetts. And it was so simple, this idea that why aren't there any denim manufacturers left in America? Why aren't there any at-scale footwear manufacturers left in Maine making leather boots? And that was the problem. And I talk about, how to find problems and to market the problem and to market the fix and to market the marketing and to be pulled by the power of purpose. My great-grandfather was a cobbler. He used to work on Patton's boots. My great-yaya worked in the Lowell spinning mills. She immigrated to Manchester, New Hampshire first, and then down to Lowell. And so I have a rich heritage here. And so there's a lot of meaning and purpose behind why I would jump into something like this and pull the whole company and all my partners into something as crazy as making boots. Now, what I'm looking at, I just know that I'm looking at a quality boot. And I didn't overthink it. I just said, yeah, this boot is what I want to make. Didn't do any market research. Like I said, it was more of a crime of passion. And we just jumped in head first. And you're going to get to watch Mo hawk me a bunch of old machinery here in a second.
Sure is. Henry, are you kidding
Slide
me?
over one, Ty.
How you doing there, big guy? It's been a while. You haven't changed a bit.
See how the leather actually turns down and out. Super secure. This is a real comfortable construction.
Wow.
Hanging in there. Stitch out.
Yeah.
Construction around
Yeah,
the toe.
stitch down, stitch out.
Cement the heel.
Yeah, okay,
Cement lasts the heel.
okay.
Basically like this unit here.
Yeah.
I like the looks of that boot.
I know you were all excited. You
I know.
had sparkles in your eyes.
I
It was
know.
like Christmas to you. Look, you can make it. It's being made.
It's being made, right?
Of course it is.
Yeah.
I mean, of course you can make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, of course you can make it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if this is where you want to go, then that's what you have to buy equipment for.
Right.
That's it. End of story.
End of story. If this is what you want to make, let's go out back and look at all my old equipment. Now, this guy right here, Henry, he was helping me put this together. And we had a few other old shoe dogs, but Henry was full-time just working on this. I basically gave him a sketch on a piece of paper and said, this is the design lines I want to make. And I didn't know what the hell we were getting into. I just knew that the knowledge still existed in Maine. I knew that we were on the cusp of losing all the old timers, and those old timers that helped us outside of Henry, a few of them passed away, including one of my childhood friends' dad. A few of them passed away just right after they helped us kind of get this thing started. And then the young shoe dogs, they stepped in, and a lot of it they taught themselves, and we just got the basics down. And I can talk more about that, but we're talking about a stitch down boot which the leather stitches out, and there's a natural joint where the rest of the leather, where the heel is, it wraps under, so it creates this natural joint. And it's resolable. It's a little trickier to resole. And what we've moved to in the past 7 years is fully welted construction. So that's what, let me see if I can jump this to full screen. Hold on a second. Here we go. So that's what this is right here. This is a welt construction. And all of our boots, starting this year, will have this type of construction. And again, we started with a last. A last it's the shape of a foot. Henry found an old last by going through thousands and thousands of buckets in this old mill basement until he found one that felt like what I wanted, right? I was like, I want a work boot that looks good, classic design lines, and anyways, and then this last we 3D scanned it, we turned it into, a 3D shape, a mold, and then we ran with it, and then we made adjustments to that. Over 3 years ago we made adjustments, then 2 years ago we made adjustments, and so we've just been getting better and better and better. That's the thing with getting started. And that's the thing folks are most scared of is jumping in, even if you have an unproven idea, but solving a problem. There is no starting point. Like, you need to start here. If you don't start here, you're doing it wrong. It's not the case. There's no freaking starting point. The field is wide open. It's a wilderness, right? You're literally hacking the shit with a machete. And this first step for me in pulling Origin into footwear was literally hacking shit with a machete. And that's why it ended up costing 500 freaking grand to do this. Let's jump back over here.
A lot of shoemakers in Maine.
Oh, I know.
Come on. And they're damn good ones.
I know.
So yeah, let's go look at the equipment.
I'm gonna let you beat me up on price a little bit more too.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
In the reverse order.
Oh, okay, you're gonna beat me up.
No, you're gonna beat me up.
I am, huh? Hey, Kevin.
That'll do the toe.
That's exactly what this does.
Oh, for the top ones, yeah.
Can you show them how it works? See how
That's the
simple it is
hooker.
to make a shoe? Huh, buddy? I mean,
That's it. Let's do it.
see?
Pack it up.
That's the golden standard right there.
That is the golden standard right there. This machine made tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of pairs of boots. This machine had a little counter on the side of it. There was a monopoly on shoe machinery. I want to say United Shoe Machinery. Basically, one company had bought up all the shoe machinery manufacturers, and then they would not sell the machines to people. You could only lease the machines, and then you had to pay them for every single pair of footwear that went through that machine. And so this machine stitched boots for World War II for sure. And it's an old machine. It was state of the art, and it is the machine we got started with. Obviously, we upgraded, after the fact, after we got our feet wet feet underneath us, get them wet, whatever you want to call it. But we did start with this machine.
That's it.
Also, keeping in mind that we're 10 years into a great economy, and there's going to be probably a downturn in the next 3.
You think?
I do.
You do?
I think between this,
Really?
I do. I think between Trump and Trump's term and whoever, whether he gets returned or someone else comes in, I think we're going to see something. Now I'm keeping my glass half full always. That's
right.
why I'm here looking at machinery.
Okay, let me go through it in the morning.
Okay.
Okay, again.
Yeah.
I'll go through it completely.
Okay.
And then I'll give you a call.
Notice his negotiating closed posture. Just so you know, nonverbal communication says a lot. Usually when somebody has a closed posture like this, they're protecting their vital signs. You never want to negotiate with your arms crossed. You want them open posture. So This dude's a salesman. He's probably thinking, I love Mo. We're good friends. I hope he doesn't mind me talking about this. He's probably thinking like, the fuck is this guy doing? Thinking he's going to get into footwear manufacturing. He is going to drown himself. And if he's going to, I'm going to give him the machines to do so. I actually don't think he was thinking that because he did find us that first loom and we got it running. So I think he understood that, you know, we had enough resourcefulness in the company and yep, I was probably crazy enough to at least give it a try. But I just felt like we needed to. So I don't know what he's got up his sleeve, but he's got something up his sleeve by his posture there.
Okay. And then you and I can have a chat about it.
There we go.
How's that?
I like it.
Okay? Because I want you to succeed.
Yeah.
Of course
Oh,
I
I
do.
know.
I love starting startups.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
I started up a lot of factories.
Yeah, I know. He
over
did
the
start up
years, okay?
a
So
lot of factories.
I like it. It's exciting for me as well.
Yeah.
To see it.
Yeah.
From nothing, and then you have a boot.
Awesome.
So really, we need to sit down one last time and figure out exactly which machine
Yeah.
we're gonna need.
Great string of words.
You like those?
What can be done to get this off the ground?
There you go. We all have to succeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it's all about.
Now he's got an open posture, and his words are very honest. He's talking about he wants to help me get started. He started up a lot of footwear companies, all of them. I mean, all of them. The guy knows the industry. That's the one thing I tell people.
It's you know what? It's a team effort for everybody, and we're all in it together.
Can I buy this boot from you?
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
You can't wear one shoe unless you want to.
I don't. I just want the one shoe.
You like it, don't
This
you?
is going to be the motivational thing in my office.
Isn't that a beauty, though?
I'm gonna put it in my
he
office.
saw that and he melted. How much did that bloom cost you, anyways?
She charged us, I think, $2,500,
Oh,
and then we put a bunch of money into getting it back up and running.
yeah. So that was it. 2,500. I'll sell you that boot for 2,500.
That's it. The deal of the day. He led me right into that. That was an anchoring statement. Anytime in negotiation, Mo probably does this pretty naturally. I'm not sure how many negotiation classes he's taken, but he just anchored the whole conversation. That I'm going to spend more than I want by saying, how much was the loom that the woman at the mill sold you? Her name's Rachel. I said 2,500. He goes, I'll sell you that boot for 2,500. So he said, we call it an anchor. So he said an anchor. That one.
I did, didn't
For
I?
the slaughterhouse.
Actually, you can have that boot.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Do you have another one to show people?
No, because then you'd wear them. So I'm not interested in having you wear this. Merry Christmas.
Appreciate it.
All right?
And now a gift. Another good negotiation tactic. Nice work on that, Mo.
New Year.
For those of us who negotiate a lot, that's called an ass whooping. I just got my ass kicked, and he gave me a gift, which is even more of an ass whooping. From, literally going to the tannery, right? Being on the computer, designing a boot, going to the tannery, looking at the leather, feeling the leather, hiring a craftsman. Now we're going and trying to negotiate used machinery. Then we're going to bring it into the factory. Then we're going to put it into production. Like, that's how we built America. 5 years down the road, when they're going back and like, we're going to look at how Origin
In
did
1,000
this.
feet, turn right.
People will see. You get your ass up and you go and you see and you ask questions and you touch things and you get your hands greasy and dirty, right? And you get uncomfortable and you take risks, calculated risks, but risks nonetheless. If you flip that camera around, that's where we pulled the first loom out of. And that door is the one we pulled it out of. See that gray door right there? That's where that freaking loom came out of. The last one left. The last loom left. Dang. That was crazy to watch. I do want to show you one more video. I don't know if we'll watch the whole thing, but this is the tannery in Maine. I don't know what the hell's going on. That is my wife dancing on the desk in the factory. So we're going to Maine's last tannery, which is called Tasman Leather. And it was Maine's last tannery, and now it's non-existent, right? It had to shut down during COVID. And so Maine has no tanneries anymore. But this tannery... This is the tannery that sold us the leather to get started with the boots. Mo sold us the machinery, and then we had to source components and all that bullshit. But yeah, let's check it out. I think it was something before Tasman, but it's all, you know, it's an American tannery right here in the heart of Maine, in Heartland, Maine, actually, which is truly the heart of Maine. And I don't even have my GPS. I'm just going to do it out of feel. Of course, Berkshire Hathaway bought Dexter Shoe. And basically, they had to keep the jobs in Maine making the boots. But when Harold passed away, then they had the ability to move the manufacturing, which they did. So the manufacturing isn't in Maine anymore. There's a small-timer guy trying to make some footwear, but nothing really major. And there's a couple other footwear makers in Maine. But again, like half the people that applied to Origin worked for Bass Shoe, worked for Hayden Shoe, worked for Dexter Shoe. Like, they worked for New Balance. They made footwear. And there's such a knowledge base. Like, I even said, hey, we might just experiment with some leather stuff, some leather goods, and like a few of my employees like, I want to be on that line. We're gonna go see the leather goods and look at some sampling for making belts, wallets, bags, boots, that type of shit. This is Heartland, Maine. So this is Tasman Leather. They've got a sky bridge.
Yeah, that's cool.
But look at this old place. You always know that you're going to work with a good vendor. A supply chain with a sign says 1925 on it. That means they've made a lot of tuition payments. Chances are they probably know what they're doing. That's nice. Pete Roberts origin. Hi, you looking for Leslie? There you go. Did you see what Ty just did? He took the S off. He knows that's my biggest pet peeve when somebody calls Origins. It is like the one like makes my skin crawl. So anyways, I talked about these different companies that came out of Maine, Dexter Shoe and Bass Shoe and Hathaway Shirt Company and Hayden Shoe. So the Hayden brothers, they started Hayden Shoe out of Wilton, Maine, and then they moved to Texas, and they then started a company in Texas, which is called San Antonio Shoe, SAS Shoe. So those are a bunch of Mainers. I think the company that owns I think they're still owned by Mainers. And a lot of folks from Maine, they moved down to Texas and started families in Texas. And so it's funny, there's this really great connection between Maine shoemakers and San Antonio Shoe. I'm headed to San Antonio at the end of the month because they're going to help us get this sneaker project off the ground. And so they're going to be a great partner. Even though they're a Texas company, I think of them as a Maine company. But back to the tannery. Oh, you see that, Ty? Mm-hmm. I should do that. See how the color kind of pops. I have no idea what I'm looking at, by the way. I'm literally just feeling the leather, pinching it, pulling it, just wondering how it's going to feel on my foot, right? But no idea. It's nice when you have it on like a pair of boots and it kind of looks
Wears
classy.
in.
Yeah. But we'd want to start with like probably some leathers that you're running in your program to develop our line. I just hired a boot maker, moved part of the factory out to our new location, and we're setting the new line up. so we're still in our infancy, but we want to crank it up quick because that's what we do. So you have to think right now that we, ADHD as kryptonite and superpower, I guess, but we had a factory. We're making gis. It's also serving as our nutritional warehouse. So all the pallets of nutritional products are between the sewing machines. So you got people squeezing in between to get in the sewing machines. And now it's time to go on origin. It's time to launch jeans and boots and really start this apparel and footwear company, this brand, this vision that has always been there. It was never just to make jiu-jitsu gis and be a jiu-jitsu company. It was always to build America's next big brand, to breathe life back into the dream and to do it on 100% American supply chain without compromise. And so we had to go hard in the paint. When I say hard in the paint, I mean drop step, tomahawk dunk type of hard in the paint. And so this is part of that process. It's just all in, all in. Dude, I think this is so cool. You guys have a bridge going across the street.
That is the coolest thing.
Because we want to do that in Farmington with our factory.
Oh, yeah.
We want to buy the rest of Church Street and put it'll be shorter than this, but between the buildings.
Oh, yeah.
So this is old school America right here. We talk about that. What's that? Right. Look at all that leather. Wow, look at that. Yeah. That's a full animal right there, dude.
Oh yeah.
Dude, it's fun stuff, huh, Ty?
Yeah,
You didn't know you were going on this adventure today, did you?
This is cool.
Yeah. This is what the internet can't do. You know what I mean? You can't smell the internet.
You can't.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like people are getting so detached from like the source.
Right.
And we're all about getting back to the source.
Where else do you see like communities like you guys setting up in Farmington? Yeah. You're hiring all these folks that have, haven't had a good opportunity in a long time. So,
Yep.
I mean, you look at this place, 155 people, working at this facility.
great.
In a town that, what would they be doing otherwise?
Exactly. We were just talking about it on the way up. Can we use that in our video vlog?
Of course.
Cool. So a half a hide versus a full hide, or what does that mean?
Yeah, so basically like what you're looking at here when you're looking at like
Never act like you know what people are talking about. I just gotta put this out there for young entrepreneurs. Be the person that asks the most questions and the most annoying questions. I don't know what I'm looking at. What is this even? What part of the cow is it? Like, what's a half a hide? Like, where do we cut parts from? You gotta go and see. And I had touched on, you can't smell the internet. Like building anything, people get so used to just working behind screens and thinking they're gonna, okay, this person says they can do this, or this facility says they can do this. There's nothing like going in person, shaking somebody's hand, feeling the heat of their body, being there present, and having real conversations. That's how you go fast in anything in life. You go and see. And this is how we were able to jump into footwear and blue jean manufacturing so fast, because I'm obsessed with the process. I'm obsessed with learning about the materials and how these materials work together. And to me, it's almost a little bit like found art, right? Like I'm finding all this stuff and I'm gonna make art out of it, and that art is gonna be functional. It's something you're gonna wear and use, and hopefully wear in and use for the rest of your life.
a half a hide is legitimately like half the cow.
Right.
So it's cut directly down the spine.
Right.
So everything that we saw here, for the most part, you're going to see are sides. So it's been split right down the spine.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll just pick a few half a hides out.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
So I think I want to do a half a hide of that. I definitely like that one we were looking at down there, the oily crazy horse.
Crazy horse. Yeah, you got it.
Yep.
Where all the leather starts. So at this facility, they all come in full hides, like I was telling you, and then they're going to be split down into individual sides. So when people talk about wet blue or chrome blue, that's what this is.
Has anyone ever just made a boot out of wet glue?
I haven't seen anybody
Ever?
do it. Not that I've seen.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Let's just put it this way. When we were in the basement of my house thinking up Origin, and we dropped the first 1950s LL Bean throwaway sewing machine in the basement, and we were staring at it, I called a gentleman to come look at it. And I believe this gentleman, who's a bootmaker, craftsman, leather worker, and who's been in the game for decades, might be coming on staff for us.
Wow. Okay. Okay. There it is. So I told you that first pair of boots cost $500,000, and they did. The reason being is everything you saw. By the time it was all said and done, and we got our first production prototype, we had spent $500,000. Now, luckily, I hadn't hired a finance team yet, and so I just was calculating in my head this whole time, what was happening with as far as the spend side of stuff, and so I hired a CFO, Don Miller. Don came in, and I said, I think we probably spent $500,000 on this boot project, and he's like, came back to me the next day. He's like, you were within like pennies of that number. So we had to source and buy all the machines, set up the power. We had to buy the raw materials. We had to make prototype after prototype after prototype. We had to hire a team. Then we had to expand that team and make a lot of tuition payments until we finally got a pair of boots off the line, which were good enough. They weren't perfect, but they were good enough. And this idea of continuous improvement, and this is how you end up with, at this point, we now have the Lincoln boot and the Coronado boot. Okay, 100,000 pairs, 200,000 pairs of boots later. I don't know how many it is. Continuous improvement. All right, and man, they're sexy. Look at those design lines. So sexy. Anyways, we're launching these. Stoked to tell you about the history of footwear making, footwear manufacturing, how we're able to do it, and looking forward to maybe seeing you in a pair of Origin boots in the future. Listen, if you have any other comments, questions, anything else you want to know, I could have watched videos for another hour, but we gotta stop this thing. It's been like 30 minutes. There's so many videos on the Origin YouTube channel that you should go and watch from the early days. All right, looking forward to this. These things are online. They are launched. Let's go.